ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. It is a Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. Fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. We have Bob Costas on at the 2 o'clock hour because there's an ABA documentary that's premiering, I believe, Thursday on Prime Video. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and talk to Bob about it, who's part of the documentary. But I wanted to bring in Chris Carlin because I'm concerned about something, Chris. So before I go on the show, I'm watching you on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And there's a cut on the top of your head that I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
I think you have to go to a doctor.
I've had it for a little bit. My problem is I have like a nervous habit. Sometimes I'll scratch it and it's just
No, it's not a good look. I'm worried.
It's not. Don't be worried.
No, I am worried. Please go to a doctor.
Listen. You look at this finely tuned machine, and you think I need to take it in to get a checkup?
Yeah.
No.
You have to take the best cars in for a checkup. Lamborghinis are in there all the time.
That's why I don't buy a Lamborghini. I'll just keep
So what are you, a Rambler?
Give me the Honda. This is a finely tuned Honda. You know why? I don't have to ever take a Honda in. I can run that sucker into the ground. And that's the plan. That's the plan right here.
With the body.
Oh, yeah. We're running it into the ground. Although things are improving.
You've bought a new dog.
Yeah, we adopted the other day.
Yeah.
So I think you'll appreciate this. So we've been talking about it for a while. We lost our dog last year. We are big dog people. We don't have kids. Love dogs. I had gone into this particular rescue that was near me a couple of times since we moved up back to northern Jersey. And I'm a wreck emotionally when I go in there. Like, I just love the dog so much that I'm, You
want all of them.
I do. And at the same time, so a couple of times I just went in and, sponsored a couple adoptions. And so finally we get to the point. Saturday morning, I'm in such a bad mood. Such a bad mood. I back my car out of the driveway to go to Starbucks to get coffee. And the car hits a snowbank. Oh, no. Not that hard,
right,
but it's so cold that the back of the car cracks. So I'm going to have to get that fixed.
Yeah.
The Honda.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to get that fixed. Then I pick up the coffee at Starbucks. I drop an entire venti cold brew flat outside the place.
Are you cursing?
Yeah, I'm cursing. I'm just like, I'm in such a bad place.
The cut on the head is probably bleeding?
No, not at that point. I had covered it up at that point.
Okay.
So Cheryl and I go to the place to adopt the dog, and I'm not in the right mindset right away. And she loves boxers, dogs that are, the breed. And there was a dog there that was a boxer, and we had looked at a couple others, and one that I kind of had my eye on got adopted immediately, gone.
Oh.
So nothing's turning up Carlin at this point. And I accuse her in a moment of just what are you doing? Of you set me up. You wanted this dog the whole time. I'm just out of my mind.
Like a child.
Just a child, an infant. This is the part where I thought you'd appreciate it. Acting like an infant when I didn't get my way.
Petulant.
Yes.
Yeah,
petulant.
some might say, yeah.
Anyway, we did not adopt that dog because that dog was very still on a whole thing. But we go to another place and we find this dog named Abby. And she's a sweetheart, and she's a lab and retriever mix, and brought her home. And I'm so happy right now.
Really?
It's such an amazing improvement in my attitude overall. And I'm apologizing later in the day. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just at this point. I think that there is an amount of wiggle room here that I have to work with that I probably am entirely too comfortable with.
Really?
Yes. I could push the envelope when I really shouldn't. When I really shouldn't push the envelope.
Right. But you do. But Abby's all good now.
Abby's great.
How old is Abby?
Abby's 2 years old. First 2 nights, slept in the crate right next to the bed.
Right.
Door open. She was perfectly comfortable. Last night, jumped in a bed. It's over.
We don't allow it.
You don't allow it?
With our dog or with our kids.
No, neither one.
No, I said that's the one thing we won't do.
So what's it like to be an unloving individual?
No. The dog's at the foot of the bed, but not in the bed. I mean, the things that dogs do and eat and lick, and you want them in your bed?
She's sleeping in the same bed as me. The things that I do and lick and eat. No. Oh, my goodness. So now the dog is in the bed. The dog slept on the bed last night between the two of us. Yeah. And
so
that's happening.
There's nothing happening between you and the wife then?
Well, you can always close the door if you need to, but right now...
Well, the dog's scratching at the door.
No, listen, we're everybody's learning each other right now.
You and your wife still?
Yes.
19 years in?
Physically, we're a little separated in that bed.
Yeah.
Same bed, but, different area code.
Is it a big dog?
She's about 40 pounds, 45 pounds,
wow.
something like that.
Yeah.
She's not small, but she's a good dog and just...
See, I'm gonna say something that you'll get up and storm out.
That's okay.
I love my dog.
Butter's a great dog.
I didn't want a dog.
I know you didn't. Have you ever been a dog person?
I had a dog as a kid.
Yeah.
A little miniature collie, 16 years.
Right. And I remember you saying when you got Butter, like, this is all you. I'm doing nothing with this.
Right. And the dog loves me more than anybody.
Right.
Loves me more than. But why?
If the dog didn't, the dog would be gone.
Why buy a dog?
We didn't buy the dog.
Oh, but why get a dog when you know it's only going to give you unbelievable heartache when it passes away? Now, unless you're hoping that she outlives you, the dog.
Well, first of all, if you're taking bets, you want to ask Vegas right now what they think. I think Gabby's probably got a pretty good chance.
Right.
But no, yes. And I was a wreck for a year.
Right.
I was a wreck for a year.
Do you want that again?
But I had 16 great years with my dog.
But that wreck for a year.
But so I'll trade that wreck for a year for what the joy my dog brought me before.
Okay.
You could have the worst day in the world, and I've had some buttes, as you know.
Oh, yeah, we've all experienced it with you.
Yes, you have. You could have the worst day in the world. You walk in that door, that dog's happy to see you. Changes everything.
Yeah.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what people say about kids, but that can't possibly be true.
Well, there's a lot of challenges with kids.
Oh, I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand the people who have 8, 9 kids. I mean,
Phillip Rivers to you, mystery.
I don't get it.
You understood him going back after 5 years to go play football for a few weeks just for the vacation.
Absolutely, that's why he did it. You know how much work kids are?
Can I ask you something else?
Please.
I had this debate with somebody else recently, too.
6'4".
No.
No, okay.
Okay. It wasn't about you personally, but would there have ever been an instance where you and Jody would have gone on separate vacations for a couple of days as a married couple?
She goes on like she doesn't want gifts for
right.
Christmas or birthday. So
right.
she wants experiential things.
Right.
So last year she wanted to go to the Cotswolds.
Okay.
All right, which I mean it's a walking tour. I said, "Yeah, I'm good." And she went.
Right, she went. Okay.
Yeah, so but I don't go on vacation without her.
Okay.
Because I like to be home and not do anything.
Okay.
That to me is a vacation.
See, like at some point this month, I will probably have to get out of the gray for 2 to 3 days.
Right.
And she's not going to want me around.
Right.
Like there is a time at this time of year where she's like, get out.
Right.
And I will go. And then, she's got friends and things that she does. And I got looked at the other day. Like, I'm not talking about a 2-week vacation. I'm talking about like a couple of days here and there. I got looked at like I'm an unloving jerk.
Well, probably that.
Well, listen, these are the ABCs of me, baby.
Yeah.
This is
you
what
know
it
what?
is.
She signed up for it.
She did. 19
I was
years.
at a cheerleading competition, and I was wearing a vest, like puffy vest or whatever.
I was going to say something, and I'm not.
It was from it was from Wingfoot, and Fordham had given it to me because they had a thing at Wingfoot.
Yeah.
So
because you yourself would never be caught dead at a country club or anything.
But no, I'm not saying that. But but this guy turns to me, and goes, "Do you golf?" Right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him without skipping a beat, and he's sitting next to his wife. He said, "No, I actually love my family." And his wife shot him a look. She said, "See, I mean, really, if I'm never home,
yeah,
with the Yankees, right? And if I have a day off, I say, oh yeah, I'm going to spend 5 hours on the golf course without you guys.
Yeah.
Well, what is that kind of
taken care of? I know.
Go to a 24-hour place.
See, like I'm an urgent care. No, I don't need to go to an urgent care. What it is, Michael, is that I have a couple of little nervous habits.
Right. And one of them is scratching yourself.
Thank you. That's the way I would put it. Usually not there.
Okay.
Usually not on top of my head. Usually somewhere else.
And you keep ripping this thing off.
No, it's happened a couple of times. There was another time where I accidentally scraped it.
How about Neosporin? Little Band-Aid.
I put it on there, too.
Little Band-Aid.
But, like, walking around with a Band-Aid on your head, I don't need to look like I'm already at Del Boca Vista. Honestly. Like, we're not far off.
Phase 2.
Phase 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to
Every
see
year
you.
when we have the Boca Raton Bowl.
I have big news for you. I'll be here all 3 days, next 3 days.
Come on!
That's right.
Oh.
You can revel in me for 3 straight days here.
You know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
Buy us lunch.
Wow.
That's what I'm going to do.
And why don't you buy us something that we can put on Carlin's Corner Table?
We can absolutely do
Because
that.
I don't think I'm going to do the Tendy review this year.
I'm just going to throw away my 50,000 Instagram followers. Jerk.
Maybe
This is me.
I'll give them to you.
My wallet's too small for my 50s, everybody. My diamond shoes are too tight.
I didn't make a dime on that. Not a dime.
I'm not talking about you making money off of it. I'm talking about the fact that you can just throw it out there and do anything you want.
How about if I cede it to you? I'll give it to you.
You can't just give it to me. Then people are going to start unfollowing.
Wow.
That was like when we got the Twitter, when Joe and I got the Twitter account for Will Kane when he left ESPN. We had 300,000 followers. A month later, we had 200.
200 or 200,000?
You heard me.
Wow. Good to see you, Chris Carlin. You can hear Chris every day with Bart Scott right before the show, 3 hours. He's outstanding. He's an outstanding human being. I'm worried about the cut on his head. All right, so if you picked up the New York Post today, everybody, baseball. Baseball's the deal. Pitchers and catchers starting tomorrow. One quick thing. I got to say this. So yesterday I made a comment on the show regarding Luke Weaver walking into the facility at Port St. Lucie carrying his Yankee equipment bag. And I said, out of respect to your new employer who's paying you $22 million over the next 2 years, anything, a Whole Foods bag, whatever the case may be, you don't bring a Yankee bag into the Met facility. I said, out of respect to the Mets. I'm telling you what, anything I say, and Ray Deanahan, my brilliant producer, has told me this over and over again, I'm never going to win over a segment of that fan base, ever. I'm defending the New York Mets, saying that Luke Weaver should respect them and have called for a Met bag or any other bag rather than the Yankee equipment bag. And I like Luke Weaver. And Met fans come out, hey, mind your business. Who cares? We don't care. He's going to have his Met bag in 2 minutes once he walks into the... I can't win with you lunatics. I'm defending you, and you turn on me. And what I'm going to say, be careful what you wish for. Because if you really want me to be a jackass, I can play that role beautifully. I really could. Sometimes I hold myself back because I don't want to be that guy who's always anti-Met or whether the case. I'm defending the Mets yesterday, and there's a sub-segment of you people that jump me for that. Like, I can't even talk about the Mets without being criticized. Can't even say a word. Can't even say a word. So even if I defend you, you don't want to hear it. So my advice to every single one of you, don't listen to the show. Don't consume the show. Don't watch the show on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Don't. Unless you want to hate watch it. I guess that's cool. But that was really an eye-opener for me. I can't win. And this is not a woe is me nonsense. I just can't win. There's no way that I can win. I'm actually defending the Met organization that a guy that they brought in and paid all this money walks in with a Yankee bag. And I get ripped for it. So what? He got a Met bag when he got... Yeah, but walking through, when the photographer's taking a picture, he's got a Yankee bag. The NY, interlocking NY Yankee logo, and number 30. And it's a midnight blue bag, not the light blue bag like the Mets, But it's a midnight blue Yankee bag. Now, Devin Williams today walked into Port St. Lucie, and you know what bag he was carrying? An all-star bag. Perfect. Perfect, right? Doesn't say anything about the Yankees. Carrying an all-star bag. Luke Weaver's caught carrying a Yankee bag. I defend the Mets, and I get ripped. Can't win. And I don't care. You know what? I don't care. Ray Deanhan once told me they'll never like you, ever. And I don't think they will like me. I just want respect. I just want respect. There's nothing I could do. I could actually save a bunch of Met fans from a fire, run into a building, and get all the Met fans out. And they would rip me, oh, Gary Cohen would have done it better than that. He would have done it better than you because you're a hack. So you're right, I can't win. So I'm going to take a different path, and it's going to be a fun path. I want all you people along with me for the ride. Maybe you'll enjoy the path. Maybe you won't. But I'm done trying to be a good guy. Because I am a good guy, but now I might play against type. Again, I'm defending you, and that wasn't good enough because you have some damaged wiring in your brain. Now, I'm not saying all Met fans, so before we jump on that stupid train, I'm talking about the subset of lunatics that can't be happy. Can't be happy. Now let's talk about Yankees and Mets. I want to get the general feeling. I believe that the Yankees are going to be very good. I believe that the win-loss total of about 91.5 is fairly accurate. I think that they could match last year's win total. I think the East is better. I think the Orioles are better. Not sure if the Red Sox are better. They're different. And I think that the Blue Jays are about the same. And the Yankees, I think, are better than last year because you're going to get Garrett Cole back. And you have Cam Schlittler the entire season, not just 10 starts. That automatically makes them better. Now, does that translate into 96 wins, 97? I don't know. But all the Yankee fans that are upset that the team, quote-unquote, ran it back, I think you're wrong. I think they're going to be good. I'm amazed when I read on social media people saying, I'm really not excited about this season. Nothing about it really floats my boat. Well, what would have floated your boat, baby? If they would have gone what? Who would they have had to get to float your boat? Kyle Tucker? Little secret. Cody Bellinger might be a better fit for the Yankees than Kyle Tucker. And Cody Bellinger at $32 million a year is a much better buy than Kyle Tucker at $60 million a year. Sorry, Kyle Tucker's a better player, but cost effectiveness, Bellinger every single time. Every single time. Now for the Mets, if the Yankees ran it back, the Mets ran away from last year, and I don't blame them. They had a horrid year. 83 wins, $340 million payroll. Horrid. And David Stearns was waiting. Since he's gotten the job, he's been waiting to pounce and change everything. And he finally did. So this year, new first baseman, new second baseman, new third baseman. New center fielder, new left fielder. New DH. New number one starter. New bullpen. This is a completely different team. And I actually like the team they put together. I'd say that my over-under for them for wins would be 89.5, 90.5, something like that. I actually think they're better than the Braves because the Braves have lost their shortstop, at least for the first month and a half of the season. And as for the Phillies, I think the Phillies are very good again, but I think the Mets might be better. Now, what is the thing that worries me about both teams? Well, for the Yankees, it's probably that they're too left-handed, and the bottom of the order is suspect. I think their starting staff has a chance to be great. I like their bullpen. I really, really do. I really, really like their bullpen. Now, for the Mets, the thing that worries me is their starting staff. I love Peralta being the number one guy. Everybody else a question mark. Senga's a question mark. But now all of those questions could be answered in the affirmative. And then they have a really, really good staff. Clay Holmes, what's he going to be? Manaea, what's he going to be? A lot of questions there that, all could be answered in the affirmative. I'm worried about the corner defense. Can Bo Bichette really play third base? Can Polanco really play first? But if you ask me, Michael, are they better than last year's Met team? I'd say, yeah, by about 7 wins. That's a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Let's get you involved. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number, 1-800-919-3776. Get involved. You are the co-host of the show. We have Bob Costas coming on at 2 o'clock. So I don't think I said I actually said the word Met, so that could inflame passion with a certain sub-segment of the population that roots for the Mets. We'll see. 1-800-919-3776. It's me and you for 2. We're going till 3. That's Don Hahn and Rosenberg right here on ESPN New York.
Tuesday with Don Hahn and Rosenberg. What do the Giants and Jets need to improve most this offseason?
If I'm the Jets, we're not making our big bet at QB this year. We're instead understanding that it might be a long year ahead. Let's develop other parts of the roster, and let's have our eyes focused on 2027.
Can the Knicks start a win streak tonight against Indy? Don Hahn and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same-day or next-day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
So, should we split the bill?
But math is the worst.
Not all math, because with New York Lottery's extra multiplier scratch-off games, you can multiply your winnings up to 200 times.
Wait, multiply my winnings?
Yeah, you take your winnings, then multiply those winnings up to 200 times.
So all of my winnings times 200?
Yeah, that.
Oh. I've always said math's the best.
Play for chances to multiply your winnings 30, 50, up to 200 times. Prizes up to $5 million. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Bundling your home and auto with Progressive could help you save without sacrificing quality. It's the smart thing to do. And as a hockey fan, you always know the smart thing to do.
Shoot the puck!
And you let the players know it.
Shoot the puck!
All game.
Shoot it! Come on, shoot!
And sometimes even after.
Man, rough game, huh?
Yeah, they should have shot the puck.
So bundle your home and auto with Progressive. It's the smart thing to do. But you already knew that. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more.
So I'm just told by our guy Jake. So we have whiteboard Wednesday outside. So favorite pizza toppings. Now, my wife Jody and my son Charlie are actually with me today. We're having a little bit of a staycation this week in the city, and on the board it said your favorite pizza topping. And Jody, thinking that she knows me, I guess we would lose on the newlywed game, actually wrote that I would like Hawaiian style pizza. Like what kind of top? I mean. Does she know me? Does she know who I am? I mean, pineapple and ham. I've never had ham in my life. I love pineapple. I don't want it on a pizza. The only thing I would put on a pizza is chicken. Fried chicken, like chicken cutlet, something like that. They don't have the one thing that I really like on pizza, which is cheese. Charlie, do you what do I like on pizza?
Cheese.
That's it, right? Yeah. So what is mommy thinking? I mean, really? Do you like the Yankees this year?
Yeah.
You think they're going to do well?
Yeah.
What's your biggest concern?
No
concerns? No. Pitching? Bullpen?
I guess Garrett Cole, he's going to be out for the first
2 months, yep.
2 months. So is Rodon.
Rodon for a month.
Rodon.
So you worry about their health?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. You like the Mets?
No.
Not at all?
No, I think they overpaid a lot of their players.
But you're still upset they took Soto, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to get over that, right?
No.
All right, now Met fans won't like my son either. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Greg on the work truck. Charlie, you can sit there. No, he's going to move away. Hello, Greg.
Going, Michael?
Good. How you doing?
Mostly spectacular, sir.
Good.
Let me get this out of the way first. I'm not part of that sub-outlet of Mets fans. And you know the saying, haters are confused admirers.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Yeah. One more thing before I get to my Mets point. I would definitely take a Michael K. Show hoodie. I would wear that all day, every day, my friend.
We don't have it yet. We're trying to.
I'm saying when you decide to make them.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with the money. Right now, if we do any kind of merch for me, I've got to pay for it, and I'm not sure that I really want to do that. I think that ESPN should do that, but we'll see if we could work that out.
Yeah, I hear you. So with the Mets, I'm actually excited for this team only because it's a bunch of new blood, so to speak, and not to mention. In David Stearns' mind, he saw these guys in Nimmo, Alonso, McNeil, and Diaz as these guys made the playoffs only twice in the amount of time that they were with the Mets. No division titles, no World Series. So unless you want to keep doing the same thing over and over, like the definition of insanity, you weren't getting better with these guys. And with the new core that they have, statistically, I would say they're more clutch hitting than they are than the previous.
Well, I mean, Greg, we'll have to see if they're clutch hitting. I mean, Bo Bichette's a pretty clutch player. We'll see what Polanco is about. But I will tell you this, and I've said it before, Stearns wanted to break up this team his first year. He did, but he understood, growing up a Met fan, the attachment that Met fans have to certain players, and then he kind of got caught because that team that he wanted to break up, that he doesn't like, ended up going to the 6th game of the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. So he said, he was almost kind of forced to run it back. And then what he really believed the team was showed itself last year. He never liked this team. And I think he would have brought back Alonso as a DH maybe on a 3-year deal, but Alonso was always going to get more than a 3-year deal coming up the season he had. I don't think he liked Nimmo. He didn't like McNeil. So he got rid of him. He got rid of him. The one guy that he wanted to keep was Edwin Diaz, and it didn't work out. They had a number that they felt that he was worth. The Dodgers exceeded that number, and they did not even get a chance to match it. I don't know if they would have. But this is now, he has ownership of this team. The manager is his. They changed all the coaches, so I'm sure he had a big role in that. That's his, and this team is his. And he can't do anything about Lindor. I don't know if he likes Lindor or not. I don't know how you don't like Lindor. He's really a special player, but that was in place before he got there. That's an immovable contract, 10 years, $340 million. That's not going anywhere. Now, he was part of the group that brought in Soto. Now, would he have given him a 15-year deal? Well, obviously, he would not have been in the bidding if he was still with Milwaukee. So those two people he was locked into. And Alvarez comes from the system, low-cost catcher who has power if they could, have him find it again. Everybody else, this is now his team. So he can't blame it on Billy Epler. He can't blame it on anybody that came before. This is his team. And I think that he likes his team. And you know what? I think this team's pretty good, too. I think this team's pretty good. Gilberto in the truck. Gilberto, what's up?
Hey, what's up? The great Michael K.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
I see Charlie's there. I like that, man. Yo, Mike, you got to groom him, man. He's the next K, bro. And he's a good-looking kid, man.
Well, thank you.
Oh, my. Good-looking kid. Mike, now, I wanted to get, K, for the Mets, bro, forget about those dudes, man. Every time you say something constructive, they want to blow you up on the internet. They want to call you all types of names. Man, come on, man. Sometimes, bro, you just got to, keep it moving, man, and not even bother with that aspect of the Mets, Another thing I wanted to ask you, one last thing I wanted to gather your thoughts on.
Mm-hmm.
Who in the free agent market or via trade that is gettable now, okay, they can get, okay, 1, 2, or 3 players or whatever number, can help the Yankees propel themselves not only to the World Series, but to compete with the Dodgers on an even playing field. Thank you, Mr. K. You have a good one. Charlie, peace out, buddy.
Thank you, Gilberto. Well, I'll put it this way. I think they have a pretty good team. I don't think there's anybody available on the free agent market at this point that would overtly improve them. I like Chris Bassett a lot. I don't know where he's going to end up. I don't even know why he's still out there. Maybe he's asking for more money than people think he's worth. But that's a guy that I like. But there's no room for another starter on the Yankees. There's just not. They're in pretty good shape when it comes to starting pitching. But if they needed a starter, I'd go after Bassett. As for relief pitchers, I think their relief pitching's pretty good right now. There's really nobody out there at this point that's a free agent that I would say that would improve the Yankees or improve the Mets. Now, if I'm the Mets, I would think about Bassett. Because I think, although they've got a deep rotation, is it a great rotation? Bassett, to me, is a stud. And the Mets know him. He used to be a Met. He pitched some great innings out of the bullpen during the World Series. I thought he did a good job for the Blue Jays. I'm surprised the Blue Jays don't bring him back. To me, he's that good. He is that good. Charlie in Bucks County. Charlie.
Michael.
Charlie, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. You don't remember, but I met you years ago in spring training just after Charlie was born, and I appreciate the fact that he's named after me, so thank you.
You got it. What's
up? I've been a Yankee fan since the 50s. Now I'm 78, so I go way back. But the reason I called, because I just happened to tune in when you were talking about the way the Met fans are treating you and a lack of respect. That's all you want to do is be respected. Just to let you know, I just got back from a Caribbean cruise, and the cruise director on your birthday, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Brought up the fact that it was your birthday.
How about that?
From Canada. Yeah, he's from Canada, the cruise director, and a Blue Jay fan. But he brought out, and he was not being sarcastic. He said, the great Michael Kay, today's his birthday. He's an announcer for the New York Yankees, and he's second only to the Blue Jay announcers.
Well, you know what? I will take that as a compliment because Dan Shulman, I think, is top of the line. I think if he's not the best broadcaster, he's one of the best broadcasters in our game. So he's tremendous, and Buck Martinez just retired. But it's funny you bring up the Blue Jay fans because I think Blue Jay fans might dislike me more than Met fans because the run differential thing that I said during the season, which was misinterpreted, but. John Schneider and I spoke about it. He understands exactly where I was coming from. But Blue Jay fans made me, persona non grata. That's fine. The thing that's a little sad is that I really love Toronto. It's like one of my favorite cities. But I hope they embrace me with loving arms this year. Doubtful. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Vincent in Arizona. Vincent.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I got a Yankees question. You were talking about how the bullpen is pretty good this year. I was just wondering, who do you think is going to be the setup guy to Bednar? Do you think it's going to be someone they'll find it throughout the season, or do you think they have someone in mind? Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you, Vince. I think it's going to be Doval. Coming out of spring training, I think it'll be Doval. But I think that they could actually mix and match. They have a lot of pitchers that they like, certain innings with certain lanes. Tim Hill could set up. Hedrick could set up. Bird could set up. They like their bullpen. They really do. And at some point, Weathers, let's say he makes the first 10 starts of the season, he could be a real weapon out of the bullpen when everybody gets healthy again. When Cole comes back and Rodon comes back, then all of a sudden you have a full house of starters. You got Cole, Rodon, Fried, Warren, Schlittler, and Heel. That's 6 guys right there. Without adding Weathers. So if they have too many starters and Weathers has never pitched that many innings in a season because he's been hurt so much, he could translate and really be a weapon out of the bullpen. He really could be. Let's go to Neil in the Bronx. Neil.
Hey, Michael, thanks for taking my call.
You got it. What's up, man?
Hey, Mike, I agree with everything you're saying. I love that the Yankees are running it back. I love the idea that they got a hook on Bellinger. I mean, the pitching is looking great. But here's the question, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be enough when we get to October? Because the Yankees went from World Series or bust to as long as we get to the postseason, we have a punching chance. And it seems like they've been getting punched more than doing the punching. So, I mean, how is it going to look for the postseason when everything works out right with the starting pitching and everything and everybody's healthy? I mean, what are we doing? Are we still like postseason, we have a punching chance, or are we back to, it's World Series or bust, or what are we doing here?
Neil, I think they always build the team to try to win the World Series. I don't think they build the team, just to take the crapshoot chance getting in the postseason. Everything falls in their way. But there's a lot of crapshoot aspect to the postseason. Do I think they're good enough to get a postseason spot and win the East? Yes. Do I think they could win more games than any team in the American League? Yes, I do. Then, are you going to get hot in the postseason, or are you going to cool off? For a long time, Judge can't play in the postseason. He doesn't get big hits. Well, he got every big hit last year, hit 600. And it was Fried and it was Rodon that didn't pitch well against Toronto. So, if everybody goes cold again, which has been a problem because is it a perfect team? No, I've told you that it's not a perfect team. It's a team that's going to hit home runs, and they've got their fair share of strikeouts. Sometimes that really gets magnified in the postseason. But it didn't 2 years ago when they went to the World Series. So do I think they can go to the World Series again? Yeah, I do. And do I think that they could beat any team that comes out of the National League? Yeah, I do. Would they be a favorite against the Dodgers? No. I don't think there's any postseason series that the Dodgers will play in this year where they will be the underdog. The Dodgers are going to be far and away the favorite in every series that they play in. So if they meet the Yankees in the World Series, Yankees are going to be underdogs. Can they beat the Dodgers? Yeah. I mean, the Blue Jays should have beaten the Dodgers. Blue Jays were the better team last year. So everything has to fall right in the postseason. I know people don't want to hear that. Do I wish I had more contact in their order? Yeah. But the team is built the way the team is built. There's a lot of strikeouts in there. A lot. But you'll take the strikeouts with Judge. You take the strikeouts with Stanton. But are you taking the strikeouts with McMahon? Are you taking the strikeouts with Volpe? Those are the things that have to solve. Are you taking all those strikeouts with Chisholm? Now, please don't start calling in and go, well, they should shorten up and just try to get a base hit and clutch situation. It's not that easy. It's just not that easy to do that. They are the players that they are, and they have to get there. Like they got there in 2024. They got to the World Series and lost in 5 games. And the dirty little secret is nobody wants to hear it. They don't bring in Nestor Cortez in game 1 and win that game. Maybe we're looking at, that narrative of, well, they haven't won since 2009. Maybe it changes. But they brought in Nestor Cortez, and he gave up the home run to Freeman. And then, they had the 3 errors in that game 5 in the 5th inning. It happened. So the Dodgers ended up being better. But in an alternative universe, could they have won that series? Yeah, they could have, but they didn't. They didn't. Be neat if the Yankees met the Mets in the World Series. Wouldn't that be something? Can the Mets do it? I think every team in the National League is going to be an underdog to the Dodgers. Does that mean that they can't beat the Dodgers? No, it doesn't. That's the way baseball rolls. Short series, anything could happen. 1-800-919-3776. I don't know why I'm giving the number. The phone lines are jammed. People are feeling baseball with the Super Bowl now over. We'll get to all of you as we continue to roll on till 3 o'clock right here on ESPN New York.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What do the Giants and Jets need to improve most this offseason?
If I'm the Jets, we're not making our big bet at QB this year. We're instead understanding that it might be a long year ahead. Let's develop other parts of the roster, and let's have our eyes focused on 2027.
Can the Knicks start a win streak tonight against Indy? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
So, should we split the bill?
But math is the worst.
Not all math, because with New York Lottery's extra multiplier scratch-off games, you can multiply your winnings up to 200 times.
Wait, multiply my winnings?
Yeah, you take your winnings, then multiply those winnings up to 200 times.
So all of my winnings times 200?
Yeah, that.
Oh. I've always said math's the best.
Play for chances to multiply your winnings 30, 50, up to 200 times. Prizes up to $5 million. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Step inside the game you love with the NBA app. Tap to watch every game as it's happening.
Jalen Brunson does it again!
And never miss a moment of the jaw-dropping action. Get closer to the players than anywhere else. Follow the latest schedules, scores, and stats. Keep up with every story from across the league. And with NBA ID, it's all personalized to you. The game lives here. Download today.
Game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Just one game tonight. Locally, 7:30, the Knicks host the Pacers at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. I have to ask my wife to come to the microphone for a moment. There you go. You're on. So you put something on outside that my favorite pizza topping is Hawaiian?
Well, yeah, it was voter fraud, but
it's total voter fraud. I don't like anything.
I know, but I thought it would get a rise out of you, and I was right.
So it's not like you don't know me. You were just doing fake news.
Oh, it's because I know you, and I knew that everyone else would know it was a lie, too.
Okay. Because somebody came in and said, I don't think your wife knows you. You do a bad job on the newlywed game.
I know it all too well.
All right. At least I know now. I feel better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hawaiian pizza, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Ham doesn't belong on pizza.
Who says what does or doesn't belong on pizza?
Me.
Okay.
For me. Like, I've never had ham in my life.
You eat bacon.
But not ham. Good to see you too, Jody.
This is what I'm working with.
Thank you for dropping by.
Okay, bye.
Bye. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Cal in Rochester. Cal.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Huge Yankee fan here.
Oh, cool. What's up, man?
So Mike, I have huge concerns with the shortstop and third base position. We have C.J. Abrams and Isaac Paredes, who's available for trade.
Mm-hmm.
Those are major upgrades, especially C.J. Abrams over Caballero and Volpe. Why haven't we traded for them?
Well, the Red Sox really needed Paredes, and they're asking for too much. The Astros are asking for too much. I'm not sure that Paredes is as good of a fit for the Yankees as you think. He's a dead pull hitter at Yankee Stadium that wouldn't really work all that well. And C.J. Abrams, there's a lot of holes in his game as well, and you're going to have to give up a king's ransom to the Nationals to get him. And you've got Caballero, who's going to play for the first month, and you've got a cost-effective Volpe. You don't need to have a star at every single position. And just because you know the name C.J. Abrams, most people project C.J. Abrams as being better in the outfield than being a shortstop. Because the one thing that you could get with Volpe is you're going to get pretty good defense. He won a Gold Glove his first year. I think he regressed last year maybe because it was the shoulder injury, but for the most part, he's a pretty decent shortstop at a really, really cost-effective price. And they still think there's more offense in there. They're not giving up on Volpe. I think now this could be the last year. Then if he has a terrible year, I think that they would cut bait because they've got shortstops in the minors. They've got George Lombard Jr., they've got Dax Kilby, guys that they really, really like. So the leash is only going to be so long. It's not like they're going to keep Volpe around forever, but they're not going to cut bait. Because if you look at his numbers last year, I brought this up the other day. Look at his home runs and look at his RBIs. Remarkably similar to Kyle Tucker. Now, Kyle Tucker's far and away a better player, higher WAR, the whole deal. Volpe didn't have a good year, but still, I think it was one away home run-wise, one or two away RBI-wise from a guy who got a $60 million a year contract. So the Yankees are not cutting bait on Volpe just because Yankee fans expected much more from him. And you know what? The Yankees probably expected a lot more from him. But they're not going to cut bait on him that quick. They're not. And they're not going to trade some of their best prospects in the farm system to get C.J. Abrams, who's going to end up being a free agent in a couple of years. And then you have to pay him top dollar when some of your best prospects in the minor leagues are young shortstops on the way up. Let's go to Jordan in Glassboro. Where's Glassboro, Jordan?
Hey, Michael. Glassboro's in South Jersey. I'm actually a college student, so I'm on campus right now.
Oh, cool. What's up, man?
So I had a Yankee question. One thing about baseball that I love is the process of the minor league system, the players that come up, and I think that's fascinating. And I think the Yankees are a very good team, and I was wondering, in your opinion, what do you think they do with the plethora of pitching prospects they have and even some of the offensive pieces they have? And do you think that they might go all in on somebody like Paul Skenes or maybe a bigger bat down the line?
Well, I think what they do, Jordan, and I'm sure that you know this too, they do a lot of their heavy lifting at the trade deadline when they see what the team has shown itself to be over the first two-thirds. And that's what they did last year. They had to vastly improve the bullpen. They did that. They needed some righty hitting off the bench. They did that, getting Rosario and getting Caballero. So they do have good young pitching in the minor leagues. Rodriguez Cruz, Ben Hess. They've got other people as well. They've got some position players. They can use those guys to make that trade. I just don't know. You mentioned Skenes. Of course, everybody would love Skenes. Everybody. He's in his third year, so he's 4 years away from being a free agent. Yeah, you'd love to get him, but why would the Pirates trade him? So you'd have to give up a king's ransom, which I think that they would. They would be in on him. I think you go after Skenes more than you go after Skubal. Because Skubal you have for 1 year, he's going to be a free agent. But the danger that the Pirates have with Skenes now is Skubal's arbitration victory. Because Skubal got $32 million. So now Skenes could outprice himself even in the arbitration market. Like if he wins another Cy Young Award this year, that'll be 2 in a row for him. Will he come in with a number that would supersede anything that the Pirates can afford? That's a question. Now, do the Yankees have the farm system to go out and satisfy the Pirates? I'm not sure. Because when you see the listings on The Athletic and Baseball America, other teams have better farm systems. Other teams have better farm systems by a lot. I mean, the Mets are listed as a better farm system, so they might have more of the prospect capital to go out and get a Skenes. But to be honest with you, I don't think they are going to be trading Skenes this year. I just don't. I mean, he's the most popular player. He's one of the most popular players in baseball, and the Pirates have him, at least for the next 4 years. All right, Bob Costas is going to join us in just a moment. We'll talk about this big ABA documentary that's coming out in 2 days on Prime Video, so stay tuned for that. Hey, want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes sense? Well, from game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Which winter event do you have a good feeling about? Figure skating, bobsled, skiing, snowboarding, curling matches that start slow, somehow get tense fast, speed skating decided by inches, hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and there's so much more. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus, physically present in New York. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Listen, I know the mentality. You try to play through pain and walk it off. Push through one more day. But when it comes to neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that's a losing game. That's when you call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical solutions that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no dependence on pain meds. He builds you a custom game plan for you so that you can move better, feel better, and live pain-free. Same day or next day appointments are available. Visit SandwellPain.com. Stop managing pain. Start beating it.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson. And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What do the Giants and Jets need to improve most this offseason?
If I'm the Jets, we're not making our big bet at QB this year. We're instead understanding that it might be a long year ahead. Let's develop other parts of the roster, and let's have our eyes focused on 2027.
Can the Knicks start a win streak tonight against Indy? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. 2:02 here in New York City. I'm looking forward to this four-part docuseries. It's called Soul Power. It's a docuseries on the ABA, the American Basketball Association, and it premieres this Thursday, February 12th on Prime Video. Narrated by Common. Julius Irving is part of it. Larry Brown, Moses Malone, Spencer Haywood, George Gervin, Rick Barry, Dan Issel, George Carl, Charles Barkley, and my next guest, the great Bob Costas. He joins us right now to talk about this. Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. You lived the ABA. That's really where you started your career. Please tell me what this whole docuseries is about, because I've always been fascinated by that league.
The ABA was some combination of the ridiculous and the sublime. But the sublime part is what lives on, even though this four-part series takes a look at some of the ridiculous, the absurd, the comical that was within it. It lasted for less than a decade, 9 seasons. But the first year after the merger, the first full season, which was 76-77, and the merger wasn't complete, there were 10 ABA teams at the start of their final season. 3 of them folded during the season. Of the remaining 7, only 4 got in. The Nets, the Pacers, the Spurs, and the Nuggets. But that very first year, 10 of the 24 players in the NBA All-Star Game had played in the ABA, and half of the 10 starters in the final between the 76ers and the Trailblazers had played in the ABA. And a whole slew of Hall of Famers, household names, once they got to the NBA, were brought into the NBA by that absorption of those 4 teams. And with it came a more wide-open style of play. Dr. J was the signature player of the ABA, one of the greatest players in NBA history, but the greatest player in ABA history. And his style and the style of people like Connie Hawkins and George Gervin was maybe frowned upon by the NBA. But eventually, all those moves, the improvisation, the three-point shot, the dunk contest, all that stuff that started in the wide-open and often wild and crazy ABA were absorbed by the NBA pretty much for the better, which is not to say that it's a good thing for teams to combine for almost 100 three-point shots in a single game. You can overdo any good thing. You can eat too much ice cream. But when those elements first came to the NBA, it was definitely for the better. And this is in the mid to late 1970s. This is before Bird and Magic arrive. Dr. J is the guy that really injected some excitement into the league at that point, because when you look at the finals ratings and whatnot and the general interest in the league, there had been a fall-off at that time. And absorbing those ABA teams actually was a really positive move for the NBA.
Now, I think it was last week, I actually had on Peter Vesey, and he was talking about the ABA and said that, people say, well, the three-point shot, that's all they did. He said the three-point shot wasn't used all that much. He said not even close to what it is right now. So what was it, just a specialty shot that they didn't really lean on, Bob?
Well, you'd use it strategically at the end of games.
Okay.
If it was called for. Or there were a handful of guys that really were three-point shooters. Louis Dampier, who had played at the University of Kentucky, I think still holds the record, and it can't be approached because the league is gone. So he holds the record for the most career three-pointers. There were some guys who specialized in it, but it was rare. And, even relatively recently, a generation ago, Reggie Miller probably averaged a half dozen three-point attempts a game. It was a punctuation rather than a specific strategy. Now on a fast break, you might see 2 guys go off to the respective corners to set up for threes. Entire offenses are built around it. It was more of a punctuation in the ABA. Sometimes you'd see a guy pull up, if there was no one guarding him, pull up outside the three-point arc to get off a wide-open three. But it was a rarity, unless a team was way, way behind, a rarity to see a team attempt as many as 23s in a game.
Now, you were really young when you got the St. Louis gig, and from everything I've read over the years, the books I've read about the ABA, it was wild. It was a wild, wild west. Were you ever overwhelmed by what you saw and what was happening?
Michael, the first 2 jobs I ever had, I got $30 a game for doing minor league hockey in the old Eastern League when I was still a senior at Syracuse. And the Eastern League is the league that the Paul Newman movie Slapshot is based on. And I can tell you that Slapshot was only a bit of an exaggeration. It wasn't a wild exaggeration. I knew some of the guys who were extras in the movie, which came out only maybe 3 years after the one season I did in the Eastern Hockey League. And then from there, I went to the Spirits of St. Louis of the ABA, and as wild as the ABA was, everybody who knew the league would tell you that if there was one team that was the craziest, it was the Spirits of St. Louis. So by the time I'm 24 years old, which is how old I was when the Spirits folded and didn't get into the NBA, I had been to the circus and back. Everything I saw from that point on, I saw a lot of crazy things, as you have. Nothing compared to the Eastern Hockey League and the ABA. So I'm looking around thinking I'm 22, 23 years old. I look like I'm 15. I'm thinking, this is pretty crazy. But I don't really know exactly how crazy it is till decades and decades later when nothing compares to it. I had nothing to compare it to.
Right.
Because those were my first two experiences. I knew it was nuts. I only came to realize later just how nuts it was.
We're talking with Bob Costas about the documentary that's coming out on Prime Video on Thursday. We just want to break in with this news from Laura Albanese of Newsday. Francisco Lindor being evaluated for a stress reaction in his left hamate bone could result in a surgery. David Stearns said it's a 6-week recovery. And, Bob, that just goes to show the best laid plans of mice and men. One injury throws everything out of whack. It's amazing. It's just amazing in all sports. You could plan all you want, and then a broken hamate bone, and you got a different shortstop on opening day.
Yeah, that's what it is. Best laid plans. As you said, there's always an element of chance and randomness in sports, and in this case, it comes up to bite the Mets. It sounds like, he'd be back to play a majority of the season, but obviously this blows him out through spring training and probably the first month.
You know, you mentioned the 4 teams that were absorbed by the NBA. One thing that I always wondered about, everything I've read, Bob, is that Kentucky was a very successful team. Why wasn't Kentucky absorbed?
It's a good question. The NBA may not have felt that Louisville was that significant a television market. They had Artis Gilmore. They had Louis Dampier. Hubie Brown was the coach. They won the second-to-last ABA championship in 75. Dr. J and the Nets won the last one against Denver in 76. That might have been part of it. There was a bit of intrigue. John Y. Brown owned the Kentucky Colonels, and there was a concern with the 3 teams that didn't get in. The NBA was concerned that there would be some kind of legal action taken. So they tried to appease each of the 3 teams. The Virginia Squires were in terrible shape, and I think they just paid them off. And then there was, in effect, an auction. If this player was on your team, there was an auction draft or a dispersal draft, and you had to pay $1 million for Marvin Barnes and $2 million for Moses Malone if you wanted him for your team. And so that was one way that they paid off some of those teams. In the case of the Spirits, we'll get to that in a minute, but in the case of the Colonels, I think they allowed John Y. Brown to buy into the NBA. And I'm not clear on the particulars. It's been a while. But I think he wound up owning the Buffalo Braves, who then became the San Diego Clippers or whatever they were called at that time. They were called something else before the Clippers. So I think that was part of the deal. Like, don't sue us. Don't file an antitrust suit. Let the Colonels die an unhappy death, and we'll get you into the NBA. I think that was the reason.
Now, I believe they're still alive. There's a set of brothers that are still collecting money from the NBA?
Ozzie Silna, the elder of the two, has passed away.
Okay.
But his younger brother, Danny Silna, lifelong basketball fan, lives in New Jersey. He's in this documentary. He and his brother made about $1 billion out of it, and here's the way it worked. They bought the team, which had been the Carolina Cougars, and they moved them to St. Louis. They bought the team for about $3 million. 2 struggling seasons, except when Dr. J and the Nets were in town. Crowds, very small crowds, sometimes crowds of 1,500, 2,000, something like that, despite the fact that they had a pretty good team. So they lost several $1 million, which they made back in spades, because here was their deal. They had a very sharp lawyer named Don Shupak, and as they were trying to wind this up and the NBA wanted them to go away, Shupak said, if we were in the NBA, we'd get a portion of the national television rights, wouldn't we? They said, yeah. Well, how about this? There were 7 teams. How about if we get 1/7 of the television rights that the 4 teams you're letting in get? And the NBA guy said, fine, just to make you go away.
Wow.
Because at that time it was maybe $600,000-$700,000 a team. The NBA finals in that era were on tape delay in most markets after the late local news. You know, Magic and Larry haven't gotten there. Michael Jordan hasn't gotten there yet. And here was the key. The clause that they added. in perpetuity. And so when the whole thing exploded and it becomes hundreds of millions and then billions, they're getting their cut. So all they had to do, no overhead, no payers to play, no office expenses, no travel expenses. All they had to do was walk to the mailbox, take out the check, and there it was, month after month or year after year. And the NBA kept trying to settle, and the Silner brothers wouldn't until it got to the point where Ozzie was older and ailing and there were estate issues, so they wanted to close it out. And so the NBA had to pay another large amount. And I think in total, between the annual payments and the settlement payment, it came to about $1 billion, which has to be the best investment in history. Pay $3 million for a team and collect $1 billion down the road.
So if they didn't accept that last offer, Bob, they could have collected, their families could have collected this forever in perpetuity. I mean, it's
Yes.
one of the worst deals the league ever made.
Yes, they continually came back. And David Stern, by the way, was a league counsel at that time, one of the smartest people I've ever met in sports. And the league kept coming back to them saying, you want to close this out? Can we renegotiate it? Until the end, they kept saying, no. I mean, in theory, if NBA games were ever shown on Saturn and they hadn't settled it, they'd get the rights from that.
Now, in all these stories, I read one thing that they had $1 million offer for Lou Alcindor, and the commissioner, George Mikan, didn't get him the offer.
Yeah.
What's the story about that, Bob?
Well, that predates my time in the league, but the ABA was willing to take some risks. They signed Spencer Haywood before he was eligible to go into the NBA, and Haywood won a court case, and that allowed players in both leagues to leave before their collegiate eligibility was up. They signed Moses Malone right out of high school, which is something that's still rare, but it's not unheard of anymore. It happened with LeBron James, etc. They did a lot of things like that. And they knew, just like when the AFL was trying to make inroads on the NFL, the way they finally forced the merger was they were going to raid all the quarterbacks. They were going to try to sign all the top quarterbacks, and the NFL panicked on that, and eventually they merged. Well, that was the theory in the ABA, too. We can't take entire franchises. We can't afford all the players, but if we can take the top players somehow. And then Lou Alcindor, later, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was coming out of UCLA. He was the prize pick. And $1 million a year was unheard of then. And for some reason, George Mikan, who was the first great center in NBA history in the early 1950s with the Minneapolis Lakers, he was the commissioner of the ABA, somehow he didn't get the message to Kareem or whoever was representing him.
Wow.
And they never received the offer. Now, I think, knowing Kareem fairly well, I don't think Kareem would have accepted it. I think he had a great sense of the history of the league and the big men, and he knew that he wanted to take his place alongside Russell and Chamberlain, and he wanted to do it on the biggest possible stage. I don't think he would have accepted it, but it's a moot point because he never knew about it.
Talking with Bob Costas here on the Michael K. Show, big documentary on the ABA starting on Thursday on Prime Video. It's a 4-part docu-series. Did you have much interaction with Marvin Barnes? He's a fascinating study, I guess.
I had all kinds of interaction with Marvin Barnes. We were, in effect, rookies together. He was on a Providence team with Ernie DiGregorio and other good players that went to the Final Four the year that Bill Walton made like 21 of 22 shots and UCLA won the championship again. Marvin was a great, great player. He was selected second in both the NBA and ABA drafts that year, second behind only Bill Walton. And if you talk to any knowledgeable person and pose this question, if Marvin Barnes had somehow stayed on the straight and narrow, which I guess is like saying if fish could fly, but if he had somehow stayed on the straight and narrow, would he have been on that stage in Cleveland in 1997 when they named the top 50 players, and 25 years later when they named the top 75? Absolutely he would have been. There were nights, especially during the playoffs, the one year when the Spirits in their first year somehow upset Dr. J and the Nets, who were the defending ABA champions, upset them in the playoffs. There were nights when Marvin Barnes, not Dr. J, was the best player on the floor in that series. He was remarkably gifted. He was funny as hell. It was hard to really dislike him, but he was crazy. He wanted to be like Superfly. That was his stated thing. He wanted to be a gangster, as he used to put it. And he wound up with people like that, wound up involved in drugs, selling drugs and whatnot, wound up on hard times, died young. But there are so many stories, and I'm actually the source of many of these stories because I was the guy on the road with the team. They wouldn't even send a writer from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. They covered home games, but the Post-Dispatch didn't send writers on the road, so I was the only media guy, and I was with them every game.
Now, is it true that he made the time machine comment? Did you hear that?
Yes,
You
that's
heard
where
with
I
your
was
own
going.
ears. Okay.
I am the source.
All right.
So we play in Louisville, which is not that far from St. Louis. You could probably drive it in 4 or 5 hours, but it's in the Eastern time zone. St. Louis in the Central time zone. So we lose to the Colonels, predictably, and the next morning, teams didn't travel by charter then. The traveling secretary, who doubled as the trainer, hands out the itinerary. And it says, TWA Flight 305, depart Louisville 8 a.m., arrive St. Louis 7:56. And Marvin Barnes walks up to me, drapes his arm over my shoulder, and from more than a foot above me, brandishes this piece of paper and says, bro, do you see this? I said, yeah. He goes, well, I don't know about you, but as for me, I am not getting on any time machine. And, when people hear this story, some of them think, well, geez, Marvin must have been a dummy. No, say what you want about Marvin. He was smart, and he was funny. And he knew there was a better chance that I would get the joke than Fly Williams, who was standing 10 feet away. So,
so he... See, now, I've always thought that he actually thought it was a time machine and wouldn't get on So he was just being funny. Well, that's legitimately funny then.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely legitimately funny. Now, here's what wasn't so funny, except maybe in retrospect. We play on Long Island against the Nets. They used to play in the Coliseum, the Nassau Coliseum. And the next day we have to play in Virginia against the Squires. So the league rule was you got to take the first possible flight, and that was at 7 a.m. We all knew that Marvin would not make the 7 a.m. flight from LaGuardia to wherever the hell we were going in Virginia. We also knew there was a pretty good chance that Marvin had post-game plans that might have lessened the possibility that he'd be on the 7 a.m. flight. But then other flights go by, and Marvin now realizes the only way I can get there is to charter my own plane, which he did at significant expense. And now no one knows where he is. There's no cell phones then in 1975. So the team is in the visiting locker room, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do in Marvin's absence, and Maurice Lucas is going to have to play a different position and whatnot. And the doors of the visitors' locker room swing open, and there's Marvin in a full-length, like, Superfly coat, platform shoes, wide-brimmed hat. It's like 10 minutes before tip-off, and with a big, broad smile, he says, boys, game time is on time.
Wow.
So the coach, Bob McKinnon, benches him for the first part of the first quarter. And then he relents and puts him in the game, like halfway through the first quarter, and he finishes with 41 points and 19 rebounds.
Well, game time is on time. He's right. He was right.
For him.
Wow.
He was an incredible talent. Incredible talent.
So, Bob, your career since that point, you've seen the heights, Olympics, World Series, Super Bowls, the whole deal. Do you look back on those times fondly? Do you have a real warm feeling about it?
Absolutely. And I will be at the premiere tonight at the Royal Crown Theater. I hope I'm getting that right. In Manhattan. Dr. J will be there. We'll do a little chat on stage after they screen the first of the 4 episodes. It's a brotherhood, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
When I run into guys when I run into George Gervin or Dan Issel or people like that, they identify me not as whatever it is I did since then. I'm an ABA guy. We're all ABA guys. And we all had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder because we knew that despite the shortcomings and the financial difficulties of some of the franchises, we knew how good the quality of play was in the league. We knew there were a lot of guys that weren't getting their due until they went to the NBA. And even more sadly, there were players who had great careers, but, an athletic career is short. And some truly great players were either done or close to being done by the time the merger happened. So players like Freddie Lewis and Mac Calvin and Jimmy Jones and Roger Brown are not widely known to people who are avid basketball fans, but they were damn good players. And we all feel a responsibility to, as much as we can, kind of spread the word when we have a chance to.
Did you get an opportunity to cross paths with the young John Sterling when he did play-by-play for the Nets?
I think we met, but I wish I had a sterling story from that. but I have subsequent sterling stories.
So do I.
But I don't have. I'm shocked that you do. But I don't recall any from the ABA.
Now we're talking with you about the ABA and the premiere on Thursday on Prime Video, the docuseries. I just want to say how thrilled I am that you are part of NBC's coverage of Major League Baseball, with baseball returning to NBC. It just makes everything feel right to me, Bob. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah, Michael, we talked about this off the air. I was at NBC for almost 40 years and involved in almost everything that mattered there with NBC Sports, and also things on the network outside of sports. It was a real connection, and it was a very worthwhile partnership and lasting friendships and all the rest. And then we got sideways about 7-8 years ago, and I just kind of disappeared. And since then, a lot of people at NBC had been in touch with me, hoping that maybe we could somehow circle back and make this right and end on a more gracious chapter. And more than 2 years ago, Rick Cordello, who now runs NBC Sports, reached out to me with a specific plan, but he said, let's wait until all the pieces are in place. And sure enough, they got rights to the NBA, they got rights to MLB, they have a domestic Olympics in Los Angeles in 28, and those are three of the things that I was most associated with. And I'll come back in an emeritus role, which is where I should have been all along. That was the plan after 2016 when I left hosting Sunday Night Football and left after my 12th Olympics to take on an emeritus role. And that's what this will be. I'm not the primary guy anymore, nor should I be. Mike Tirico is the host of the Olympics. Maria Taylor, with a budding star-filled career, or soon to be, she's the host of the NBA. But I'll be able to contribute at various times. And for the first season, 2026, not beyond that, but the first season of Sunday Night Baseball, NBC wanted me to be part of the pregame show, kind of like a passing of the torch sort of thing, and a nod toward NBC's terrific history with baseball, going back to the late 1940s. So probably the first show will feature the voices of Kurt Gowdy and Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek and Vin Scully, leaning into the history the way we have with some of the NBA stuff by doing some of the narrations like we used to do in the 90s. And a week or so ago, I opened the game at Madison Square Garden for just a minute on camera and said this is the first game that we've had on the big network since the 2022 NBA Finals, and I hosted it, and Marv Albert called it, and now a new generation of broadcasters, and here's Maria Taylor. That's kind of what my role will be, but I feel good about it, as we've talked about, because you don't want the last, I don't want to be overblown, but you don't want the last note of a symphony to be discordant.
Right.
You want to end on an appropriate note, and they've been wonderful about it. They understand how we should go about it, and they want, almost as much as I do, they want this to be an appropriate last chapter.
Well, very few things in our business are pitch perfect. That's pitch perfect. I think it's just wonderful. Love that you're part of NBC and the baseball coverage. Again, it's just awesome. Again, they couldn't have done it better, and I'm glad that you're on board with it. So good luck with the thing tonight. Can't wait to see it on Thursday. It should be fun, the ABA docu-series, and always nice talking to you, Bob.
Michael, my pleasure. And just so that I don't get lost, I just looked it up. Tonight, it's the Regal Union Square at 850 Broadway. That's where the premiere is tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to show up at the wrong theater, Bob. That would not be good.
That'd be a Marvin Barnes move.
Yeah. Time machine. Good stuff. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Michael. See ya. Bye.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the GM of the Mets. That is David Stearns, about the Lindor hamate issue, and also where he expects Juan Soto to play this year. Again, Soul Power, 4-part docuseries on the American Basketball Association. It premieres Thursday, February 12th on Prime Video, narrated by Common. And it was an unbelievable league, and you see a lot of the league right now when you watch the NBA. All right, coming up, you know the deal. We'll take your phone calls, and then we go till 3. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg take over after that. It's the K Show right here on ESPN New York.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What do the Giants and Jets need to improve most this offseason?
If I'm the Jets, we're not making our big bet at QB this year. We're instead understanding that it might be a long year ahead. Let's develop other parts of the roster, and let's have our eyes focused on 2027.
Can the Knicks start a win streak tonight against Indy? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
So, should we split the bill?
But math is the worst.
Not all math, because with New York Lottery's extra multiplier scratch-off games, you can multiply your winnings up to 200 times.
Wait, multiply my winnings?
Yeah, you take your winnings, then multiply those winnings up to 200 times.
So all of my winnings times 200?
Yeah, that.
Oh. I've always said math's the best.
Play for chances to multiply your winnings 30, 50, up to 200 times. Prizes up to $5 million. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Think switching to T-Mobile's a whole complicated thing? Nah, it's easy. You can do it almost anywhere in just 15 minutes.
Even poolside like Drewski, you can switch to T-Mobile and unlock savings that are built to last. With T-Mobile's Better Value Plan, you can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T. Save on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
I get all the VIP perks.
Start saving from day one, and for a limited time, get T-Mobile's Better Value Plan.
I know you love deals.
Plus, switch right now, and we'll even pay off your old phone up to $800. What do you think of all that, Drewski?
Stay chillin', just switching. It's better over here.
Check the math at T-Mobile.com/better value. Savings versus comparable plans at AT&T and Verizon, plus the cost of optional benefits. Plan features and taxes and fees vary. With 3+ lines of Better Value Plan. 3+ new lines and 2 eligible ports, or 3+ lines and 5+ years on T-Mobile postpaid plan required. Qualifying credit required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Get up to $800 per line via virtual prepaid card. Typically takes 15 days after rebate submission. Qualifying unlocked device credit service port in 90+ days with device and eligible carrier, and timely redemption required. No cash access and card expires in 6 months. Card issued by Sunrise Banks N.A. member FDIC.
1-877 for kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping into the unknown.
Where are we going?
To see our planet
This is amazing.
as it's never been seen before. From pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith from National Geographic. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
You remember what it feels like to move without thinking about pain? To get up, sit up, walk, work, or live without that constant ache? If neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica took that away from you, it's time to get it back. I'm Bart Scott. Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is the guy you need. Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no scars, no long recovery, just precise, image-guided, non-surgical treatments designed to get you feeling strong again. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted, there is no reason to wait. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
Access to education changes lives. That's why National University provides flexible online and hybrid programs from associate to doctorate degrees. Since 1971, NU was built to serve non-traditional, working, and military learners nationwide. NU understands the demands of work, family, and service. Each year, more than 130,000 learners trust National University to move forward. Visit nu.edu to learn more.
Empower. Ellie here is getting the sleeve she's always dreamed of. She worked with Empower and planned for her next move, so she got good at money. Now she can be a little bad. Oh, by the way, you spelled journey wrong. No worries. She can afford the cover-up, too. Ooh, check out my tat. It says, invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Welcome back to the show. So, a lot of people are talking about, people are being interviewed as they report to camp. And David Stearns, Met GM, said that Juan Soto is playing left field this year. It is what he will play in the WBC for the DR. Said he's comfortable there, and Stearns said it makes sense for all involved. Wow. That's, right field at Citi Field is tough. Kind of nooks and crannies and stuff like that. But that's an interesting move. Let's hear from Stearns as he discusses where Soto's going to play.
Juan Soto's going to play left field for us this year. Over the last month or so, as Mendy and Juan were talking about the season, Juan was working out in left field because he's going to play left field for the DR and WBC. As they had their conversations, he felt really comfortable there. It made sense for us from a roster perspective, so we're going to go forward with it, and everyone's on board with it. Not something we had really contemplated coming into the offseason, but as we've had conversations over the last month, it made sense for all involved to do this.
So then who's going to play right? He doesn't answer that, but I would assume it's a combination of Beatty or Bengay. I'm not quite sure. So there's a little bit of a big move by the Mets to switch Soto, who played right field for the Yanks. That move, Aaron Judge to center. And one of the reasons they didn't have him in left field at Yankee Stadium is too big, and he's not a good outfielder. He's just not. But left field is a better spot for him in Citi Field than right field is in Citi Field because, again, all the angles and, it's deep in some parts and got some weird caroms as well. So that's a little bit of big news. And then the biggest news was the Lindor injury, and here is Stearns announcing it.
Francisco Lindor is going to be evaluated tomorrow for a left stress reaction in his left hamate bone. Experienced some soreness in his left hand wrist area over the past couple of days, informed our medical staff. So he's going to go to a hand specialist tomorrow. It is possible this will result in a hamate surgery. If it does, that's a 6-week recovery, which puts us right at opening day. So at this point, even if it does require surgery, we would remain optimistic that Francisco would be back for opening day.
Yeah, I wonder about that because that's 6 weeks of being shut down. Then you have to get ready again. So yeah, it's February 10th today, so that's 2 weeks. I don't know how he's ready for opening day. And the one worry I have with this is that I've seen guys that have hamate bones that have to be repaired. Then when they come back, there's that trepidation that they deal with. There's that sometimes weakness in the hand because you don't feel as strong and you're not that sure about it. So that could be an issue as well. Stearns was asked, when did this issue for Lindor pop up?
He's had soreness, frankly, off and on there for a couple of years, and he's usually able to grind through it, and he's done it. And I think, I don't know when he first felt it, but I think it just persisted to the point where he felt like he should say something about it. And once we examined it a little bit more yesterday, our medical staff determined that he should go see a specialist.
I always wonder about this. I'm not knocking the Mets for it, but this is an issue that the guy's had. And then you look at it when he gets to Port St. Lucie, when you're right smack up against the start of the season. Why didn't they have the medical staff look at it in November after the season was over? So then the 6-week recovery would have been during his recovery period, and he would have come to spring training, would have been a full participant. Stearns was then asked, where did the team improve the most?
So coming into the offseason, we talked a lot about improving our pitching and defense. And I think in a variety of ways, we were able to do that. We've added multiple Gold Glove caliber defenders up the middle. We feel like we've improved our pitching staff as a whole. And part of that is the expected emergence of young pitchers some of whom have already been at the big leagues, some of whom are coming. And so we're excited about that. We're also excited about the versatility of our position player grouping and the varied skill sets we now have across that segment of our team. We think over the course of 162 games, the unforeseen always happens. And we feel as best as we can be right now, we are prepared for the inevitable hurdles of a marathon Major League Baseball season.
I'll tell you what, he's got to be right because as I said at the beginning of the show, this is his team now. This is not Billy Epler's team. It's not Buck Showalter's team. This is Mendoza and Stearns' team. There's a complete redo of last year, the disappointing team that won 83 games, and now you're switching positions with Juan Soto, and Francisco Lindor has a hamate bone situation in his left hand that might have to be surgically repaired, and it's a 6-week recovery time, which would put him right up against opening day. As I mentioned, all around baseball, players are meeting with the media, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa kind of makes himself one of the enemies of Yankee fans, and they ended up really loving IKF toward the end. He was not the shortstop that they thought he was going to be, but he became a real good contributor. And for those that don't know, he was on the Blue Jays last year, and he just signed a one-year, $6 million contract with the Red Sox. And Isaiah said the Blue Jays were glad the Yankees beat the Red Sox in the playoffs because Toronto felt that the Yankees were an easier opponent, according to Tim Healy. So, did they? Well, it turned out that they were, because the Blue Jays knew that they beat the Yankees up during the regular season, and they would have rather faced the Yankees in that division series rather than face the Red Sox. And, they got their wish, and it turned out great because they won in 5 games. So that is a pretty telling statement there by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I don't know if it makes him public enemy number one with the Yankee fans, but the Yankees can't be too thrilled about hearing about that. But they can't argue about it either, because the Blue Jays manhandled them throughout the season and in the postseason. So he made public what was probably a private matter, where the Blue Jays said, well, I hope the Yankees come out of this because we could beat them easily. We might not be able to beat the Red Sox, and it turned out to be true. All right, let's go to Jonathan in L.A. Jonathan.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jonathan.
What's up, Charlie? Hey, buddy. Hey.
What's up,
Michael? I think you're giving a little too much attention to these Mets fans, man, because you went to their stadium, and what happened? Mets fans were actually going up for pictures and autographs for you. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, they were great. That's why I always said it's a subsection.
Exactly, and these nothing but Cheeto dust guys behind the keyboard. Don't even listen to them, man. You giving them too much attention. And Michael, you just stole my thunder right there. IKF. It seems that every team that beats the Yankees, they love bragging about them, squeezing they just love embarrassing them. But you know what? That makes us the great Yankees, right? As they beat Big Elias. But I mean, I just hope our day comes and you're right, Michael. Chris Bassett. I think he'll fit perfect in that rotation, but we'll see, man. Michael, great show as over and great interview too with Costas.
He was terrific.
That sounds pretty interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I will tell you this: if you don't want to be ragged about losing, don't lose. And what Jonathan's talking about, Yankees lost to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers right away said, you know what? We knew they were fundamentally unsound, that if we put the ball in play, they were going to make a mistake. If you want those kind of comments to stop, you've got to win games. You've got to win championships. It seems like people don't understand the nomadic nature of players. So, IKF could be a Yankee next year. I don't know why guys feel that they could say whatever they want with impunity. I guess he's just telling the truth. And now he's on the Red Sox, so he wants to be loved by Red Sox fans. So he comes out and said the Blue Jays didn't want to play the Red Sox because they thought they'd be tougher than the Yankees were for them. And again, history supports what he said. The Blue Jays beat up the Yankees. Yankees can't cry about it. Be better. Be better. That's why I always say when you don't like if a guy's a show-off when he hits a shot, make him not hit the shot. You don't want people talking trash about you. If you lose, don't lose. That's all there is to it. Don't lose. You can't be upset about it. And what Jonathan said, big bad Yankees, I don't know if people look at it like that anymore, but with the way the Yankees could look at it, this is fuel to the fire. People are talking trash about you. They're talking down about you. I want to play the Yankees. Dodgers, we wanted the Yankees to just make mistakes because our scouting report said that they would. It's hard to argue because they did make the mistakes. And the Blue Jays wanted to play the Yankees. It's hard to argue. They beat them 8 times out of 13 times during the regular season, and then they beat them in the postseason. You got nothing to say. You got nothing to say unless you win. So you want to stop the nonsense? Then win. Play better. Don't make these mistakes. Don't give yourself or another team an opening to make you their punching bag. Don't do it. So right there, right now, you've got a situation where you could write the story. You can create the narrative. Don't lose these series. Now, the other thing that I would say, and this isn't about the Yankees, isn't there a way anymore to win with grace? Think about it. Win, don't say anything about the other team because you might face them again somewhere down the line. But that doesn't seem to be in the ethos anymore. There's no more winning with grace. Sports, politics, whatever the case may be, there's no more winning with grace. And you see it trickling down into kids' sports, youth sports as well. It's a new age. No more grace. No more class. I know that what the Dodgers said after that chapped a lot of people with the Yankees. Why'd you have to say it? You won. Isn't that your ultimate vindication? Now, IKF, I think he's just endearing himself to his new fan base by saying, wow, Blue Jays didn't want to play the Red Sox. That's who I'm on now. They wanted to play the Yankees. Let's go to Sal in Brooklyn. Sal, talk to me.
Michael, good afternoon. What's going on, my good man?
All good, my friend.
You know, we grew up, I mean, I know everybody hates, in my day, but everybody takes shots at the Yankees these days. And they're right in doing so when their own coaches, their own manager, and I like Boone, but every base running mistake, we see it as fans. We go crazy. You don't think those other real scouts see it? They don't know how many outs there are. They're walking off of bases. They have no situational ball. We see it. So the Dodgers sit back and say, like Bjorn Borg used to play tennis, I'm just going to volley you to death. You're going to make a mistake. And that's exactly what they do. So they're right in speaking this way. And like you said, you don't like it, go out there and just win to shut them up. But they just don't have that DNA in them. Well, until they find that dog, then they'll be all right.
Well, I'm not sure if they don't have the DNA. People make mistakes. They've made mistakes at inopportune times, and they've tried to clean it up. They've changed some of the coaching staff and stuff like that. We'll see. But again, you can't get upset at the words of others if you can't defend yourself. And how do you defend yourself? You did make mistakes in that Dodger series. That fifth inning in the fifth game will go down in history as one of the worst. They made mistakes. And the Dodgers said, we put the ball in play. Our scouting report said they will make a mistake. And they did. And the Blue Jays wanted to play you and not the Red Sox. And you know what? They were right. Now, we don't know what would happen with the Red Sox, but we know what happened with the Yankees. They beat the Yankees. So you don't have a kick coming. The only way you change the narrative is to not put yourself in these situations and win. Just win, baby, like Al Davis said. If you win, no one could say a word. Nobody could spit it back at you. We knew this was going to happen. They're not good, blah, blah, blah. Just win, baby, and all of this stops. It all stops. Hey, want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel makes sense? Well, from game lines to medal counts to finding your angle on the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Which winter event do you have a good feeling about? Figure skating, bobsled, skiing, snowboarding, curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening faceoff, and so much more. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Guys, quick PSA, forgetting Valentine's Day flowers is not the move. Trust me, this is why I go to the Books Company every time. Books delivers modern bouquets fresh to her door. Plus, with my code CANTY, you get 25% off. Books flowers are cut fresh from the best farms in the world, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. They've got incredible flowers, even roses grown on the side of a volcano. And the best part? Books makes it easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. No last-minute panic. That's why Books has over 50,000 five-star reviews. And listen, even if she says, don't get me anything, that doesn't mean no flowers. Flowers still score every time. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble this. Order now. Go to Books.com, use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
March the 20th of 2026, there's one place to be, and that place is Pickleball Heaven. Pickleball Heaven. It's a pickleball facility, massive facility in Medford, New York. We're going to do the show there that day from 6 to 10. Then there's a tournament, and then after we win the tournament, Rick, we'll stay and watch some basketball with the people. Now, the worst part of all this is the name. Listen, I got to participate in Rickleball Madness. What do you want from me?
You're a teammate of Rickleball.
Yeah, right.
You're part of the event. You're the co-headliner.
If my name was Dave Pickleball, it would still be Rickleball Madness.
I think that's accurate.
I don't want this kind of pressure. I would prefer it be named after you.
No, you don't. You want all the shine.
No, I don't. Call whatever you want.
Dave's Pickleball Extravaganza.
Sorry, Dave. We're still calling it Rickleball Madness. And it's Friday, March 20th at Pickleball Heaven in Medford, New York. More details coming soon with DiPietro and Rothenberg on ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show. So some interesting news from the Mets. Juan Soto is going to play left field. Francisco Lindor has a hamate injury. Going to be further examined by Met doctors and could be a surgery to remove the hamate bone. The hamate bone is a little hook bone that's in the middle of your hand. If you look at the middle of your hand, the front of your, not the top of your hand, the bottom of your hand, it's a bone that hooks onto another. And sometimes from the force of swinging repetitively, sometimes it breaks. And you can play without that bone. So the hook bone is removed. Now, I don't know why they don't do it proactively or prophylactically, but they don't. And they wait for it to break. And it breaks for some people, doesn't break for others. But the interesting thing that Stearns said is that it's been bothering him for a while, but he's played through it. Well, was it broken or not? And so now they're going to further examine it, and they think that it was broken, and that puts him right up against it. It puts him right up against the opening of the season. Now, Charlie K is here. Charlie, what do you think about Soto playing left field?
I don't know.
You think it's the right move or not?
I don't know.
Hey, I don't know. You're amazing. You want to be on the show? Give me some talk. I want to hear it.
Like what? What?
Nothing?
What do you want?
How do you think the Mets are going to do this year?
I don't know.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Charlie. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Jimmy in Montclair. Jimmy.
Hey, Michael. Love the show as always.
Thank you.
Hey, wouldn't it be a perfect, I wouldn't say perfect situation, but now that obviously Lindor might go on the shelf for a bit, obviously you got Bichette moving the shortstop. Phillies are trying to get rid of Castellanos. Wouldn't it be I wouldn't say perfect situation, but should they make a move after him?
Who, the Mets?
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Phillies would give away Castellanos. I mean, he makes $20 million this year. No, it would be a terrible move. I mean, they're willing to give him away. If I'm the Mets, Castellanos is not a good defender. So, no, I wouldn't want Castellanos. To me, that wouldn't be a good move at all. At all. It's going to be interesting to see if Lindor misses any time during the regular season and they're trying to turn Bichette into a third baseman, whether or not they move Bichette over to shortstop, because if you look at his numbers metrically, he's not a great defender. They could live with him there for a month, obviously, but then you're taking away from his ability to get comfortable at third base. Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Michael, what Bob Costas forgot to tell you, in the ABA, the greatest nickname in American sports history was only used for 1 year, never been repeated, and that was the New Jersey Americans. That was the genesis of the Brooklyn Nets. They were called the New Jersey Americans. No team has ever been called the Americans. 1 year from 1967 to 1968. They were that smart. Imagine that. Now, as far as the Yankees, the move of getting Goldschmidt for $4 million, this is a genius move by Cashman. The team is set up. The pitching, this is as good as the pitching in 2003 with Clemens and Pettit and Mussina. They've got so much talent on this team. All they have to do is stay healthy. So I don't care if you give me 9 All-Stars. If they're not healthy, they're not going to win. The way the Yankees are constructed right now, top to bottom, this is their best team. And, when we had Holiday a few years ago, I compare him to Goldschmidt. He got hurt, and our season went downhill. That's how good Goldschmidt is. It's wonderful that this guy stayed here. Bellinger stayed here. Garrett Cole is back. This team is ready to go. It's a masterful job by the team. No excuse this year, Michael. No excuse. This year has to be World Series or bust. Of course, injuries is another story, but this team is stacked top to bottom. I'd love to see how the season goes, Michael. And by the way, St. John's, this kid, Dylan Darling, this kid, I'm not saying he's as good as Chris Mullin. He reminds me of Chris Mullin. He's heady, he's smart, he's left-handed, he knows how to play the game, he's a spark plug. Of course, he doesn't have the talent. He's not an NBA player, not yet at least. But, man, is this kid good. I love watching him.
Richard, Chris Mullin's one of the greatest college players of all time. He reminds you of Chris Mullin. Why? Because he's white? I don't see the resemblance at all as a player, at all. Also, the Americans is the greatest nickname in the history of sports. And thirdly, yeah, the Yankees are good, but to say this is the best team you've seen them put together, yeah, I like the signing of Goldschmidt too, but, that was Richard at his hyperbolic best. By the way, a move that I was promoting for a while just to give depth to the pitching staff was to sign Verlander. He ends up signing a 1-year deal with the Tigers, so he will pretty much end it where it all began for him. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. An interesting day here on the K Show. We're back again tomorrow at 1. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What do the Giants and Jets need to improve most this offseason?
If I'm the Jets, we're not making our big bet at QB this year. We're instead understanding that it might be a long year ahead. Let's develop other